Hi, and welcome to another Minute in the Clouds with Greg. And welcome. This, I believe, will be day 4 of doing this, and it's going to be a long one again. Go figure. This is the positive things about having ADHD. It's quite lengthy, but I'll try and go through it. There'll be an article later today or tomorrow that accompanies this over on gregsloud.com. So ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is often viewed through a lens of difficulty and challenges, but there are many positives that come with this. It's a neurodiverse condition. People with ADHD, just to sum up again, it can cause some people to be impulsive, hyperactive, distracted, and while it can present its own challenges, there are some good things that come with it. So what are the challenges that people face? We'll do a recap. There's 3 different types. There's a combined inattentive and hyperactive. Won't go into that, it's on a different video. But some of the unique traits, you can be hyper-focus, which can be a good thing or a bad thing, but we're going to talk about the good side of it. Out-of-the-box thinking and spontaneity. A lot of people think that ADHD is a result of bad parenting or lazy, lack of discipline. It's not. It affects men and women, males and females, children. Children with ADHD can display hyper-focusing activities that they find interesting at school. It's not something that you outgrow as a child usually. What tends to happen, they used to think that people outgrew ADHD. You just become very adept at devising coping mechanisms. So it does continue into adulthood. There's a lot of prisons full of people with undiagnosed ADHD. But anyway, it's not something that you outgrow. Taking medicine doesn't increase the risk of substance abuse. So there with that. Some of the plus side, you can have higher energy levels. It's a strength. Higher energy can lead to increased productivity, creativity, physical performance, harnessing power of productivity, making the most of the higher energy levels. Someone with ADHD can really make use of that. Some tips to harness your energy and to remain focused. Identify what your peak energy times are. Take a note of when your energy is highest throughout the day, and use those peak times to do the complex tasks that need to be done. Break things into small and manageable steps. That helps in a couple of ways. 1, you don't get frustrated, and 2, you actually see something being accomplished. Set goals and prioritize, and take breaks throughout the day. I don't do that. That's something I'm working on. I can literally be going and going and going in a hyper-focus episode. The place could be caving in around me. You know, my legs are smoldering and melting from the flames, and I'm like, something doesn't smell good. Is someone cooking out? So that can be a problem, but it's also a good thing. You can be very resilient, problem-solving skills, adapting to setbacks, learning from your mistakes, and building great coping mechanisms. Thinking divergently. People with ADHD often have got a very unique perspective and generate a lot of ideas quickly, and ideas to solutions. And that allows us to approach problems from a very different angle and consider unconventional solutions. Contextual, I can't read my own writing, I'm sorry. That's one of the things with having a brain injury as well. You get blanks like that. Just part of what you're going to get with me, I'm afraid. Anyway, overcoming knowledge constraints. With the hyper focus, it really carries you through times where stuff needs to be done if you tap into it, which is a good thing. Playfulness and risk taking. Increased risk taking can be thought of as a bad thing, but it can be a great thing in business. It can lead you to come up with that idea, book the market, do something that's, maybe unpopular or unconventional, that leads to some wonderful things. The JetBlue, the gentleman chairman of JetBlue, I can't remember his name. He invented ticketless tickets. Buy your tickets online or over the phone. That wasn't a thing. He attributes his ADHD to success in business. So that can be a good thing. Resilience, creativity. We're very good sometimes at promoting social connections. We want to network desperately, and we want to please, and we want to be part of something, but it can have depression with it as well. But this is supposed to be the positive, so we won't go that. We can be very self-awareness. Sometimes we're good at regulating our own emotions if everything's going well. So I'm just going to skim through some stuff through my notes. We talked about outside the box thinking. If we embrace our hyper focus and develop resilience, we can really tap into that creative side. So I'm going to run through some of the other things to try and make it not as long. Our creativity can make it, we can be incredibly creative, think outside the box. We can come up with some great innovative ideas. For example, Richard Branson, I don't know how many businesses he's created now. I talked about that yesterday. And it's in the article or on the website. We can be incredibly resilient, overcoming everyday challenges. We can build resilience and often learn to bounce back. We bounce back fast. Word on that, a little bit of positive feedback. We can go miles and miles. We can get a lot of mileage out of that. But on the negative side, which we'll talk about that tomorrow, it cannot be a good thing. Our energy can be a source of great communication. Some great athletes are ADHD and stamina. Very versatile. People with ADHD can be great at multitasking because our brains jump from one idea to the other, but you've got to control it. Very intuitive. We possess a strong sense of empathy due to our heightened awareness of our own emotions and ability to detect subtle cues from others, kind of similar to being an empath. I think a lot of the people with ADHD are empaths, and a lot of empaths have ADHD. Which came first, the empath or the ADHD? I ordered, never mind. So empathy allows us to excel as being great friends and partners. A lot of people who are counselors have ADHD and our mental health. Connecting with others at a profound level and providing support and understanding. We're really good at assisting others in navigating their emotions and developing coping strategies. But it's worth noting that not all individuals with ADHD share that same level of empathy. That's very unique. We can be very spontaneous. Our impulsivity characters can lead us to being fun and exciting to be around. Innovation, we talked about that. Perseverance. We can persevere and persevere, very persistent. We just keep going, doing the hard work, getting stuff done. Our imaginations are very vivid, which can be beneficial in creative fields like art, writing, innovation. We're very flexible, usually very flexible, and we can adapt to situations. Risk-taking, we talked about that, can be a good thing. We're very enthusiastic. If we get a hobby or a passion or a project that we're interested in, you've got to watch that hyper-focus. But we're very enthusiastic about it. So very dynamic and interesting. We can really enhance social settings. Very quick-witted. A lot of comedians have ADHD. Our creativity, very resourceful. We can be very resourceful. I know 1,000,001 resources, and I'm always finding more, but I can never really remember them. Having ADHD and a TBI, it's a bit of a bugger. I often forget things that I have to do, and I have to relearn them over and over again. It can be very frustrating, really. But our resourcefulness, we're great at finding and managing our symptoms, and we can find coping mechanisms, tips, tricks, useful tips. that are very effective tools in our daily life. And again, I apologize for this. I have some teeth missing due to the amount of medication that I take has caused root decay, and I've had a few teeth out, waiting to get partials. Honesty, it's a double-edged sword. We're very honest, but sometimes we can be very impulsive with our honesty. We can blurt out things that are true without thinking about what those consequences might be. But it can be seen as a positive trait because we're really honest. I can't lie to save my life because I will not remember what I lied about. So I'm very truthful, and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. You've heard the saying, quick to forgive and forget. Well, if you think of that in terms of ADHD, people with ADHD is really good because we're quick to forgive and forget, but it's very bad because we're quick to forgive and forget. We're very passionate. I think you can pick up on that. I'm kind of passionate about the subject, and we can display an immense level of passion and dedication, willing to spend time and energy on something that we care about and help others. We can be seen as quite charming, I'm told, but our enthusiasm, we're always up for a good time, depending on our individual symptoms, of course. But we like to laugh, make others laugh. We like to please people. We can be very positive and upbeat. Sensitivity, we are highly sensitive. I think that goes with what I mentioned a few minutes ago, the empath trait. We're very sensitive to the emotions of other people, which makes us very empathetic and understanding and very good friends. Non-conformity, that can be a bad thing, but with ADHD, it's a really good thing because we often challenge the status quo, and that can lead to positive changes in society. Non-conformity is a characteristic that often goes with ADHD. Challenging that status quo, questioning the norms, pushing the boundaries, it can really bring about positive change in various aspects of society. Thinking outside the box, our perspective, innovation and imagination. We're going to inspire others as well to challenge established conventions. So, politicians with ADHD would be well. Strength in a crisis. Our hyper focus can be great in a crisis, so we can focus on that and get out of it. Again, the dark side of hyper focus, won't go into that. Living in the moment, we're often very present oriented. It's now. The problem is now tends to last 12 hours, but we fully engage in the moment. Focusing on our senses, a good coping mechanism for living in the moment. If you're having a hard time living in the moment, pay attention to what you see, hear, think, smell, taste. Be mindful of your thoughts, practice mindfulness. We're very quick thinking and humorous, funny or entertaining. Again, a lot of actors and entertainers have ADHD. Instincts, we're very instinctive. We've got a high alert to the environment, which can be great in survival situations. Problem solving skills are just amazing. The out of box thinking, entrepreneurial spirit. We talked about famous people yesterday, or well-known people. That's a good example. Altruistic abilities. Really talented in the arts, making us able to be altruistic, using our success to help other people. We're compassionate. We really care about the struggles and difficulties other people have. We're very enduring. We have a lot of endurance. Our observation skills are really high. Unpredictability, that can be good because it can bring excitement to the situation. We're very curious people. We're always questioning, what does this do? Oh, look, a squirrel. What was it talking about? Yeah. Very adventurous, very strong in diversity. the way our brain works, the wiring, it contributes to the neurodiversity and the strength that comes from diverse ways of thinking. And we really appreciate diversity because we're different ourselves, and so we're very appreciative of differences in others and fight for justice. We're very justice oriented and for the underdog. We can be great at telling stories. Intuition can be strong, and our tenacity, despite the many challenges that we can sometimes face, we show great tenacity for pursuing our dreams. Inventive, some of the great inventors throughout history had ADHD or were thought to have ADHD. It truly can be a gift in that respect. Persistence, we don't give up. Multitasking, multidimensional, very individualistic, inclusive. Our own experience of feeling different and not fitting in, I think makes us very accepting of others and wanting to make an inclusive environment for other people. We like challenges. If someone says you can't do this, we like to find a way you can. That feeds into our insights and our emotional depth. We experience our emotions very intensely, which can lead to a deep capacity for joy, love, and other positive emotions. We're very adventurous in our learning. Philanthropy, we talked about that. Excuse me, impulsive ideas. Sometimes the best ideas, they can come just like that in a flash when you've got ADHD. Speed reading. Some people with ADHD can read very quickly due to the need to consume information. Think Short Circuit. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Johnny Number 5. Need input. So I don't know if that's speed reading, the skipping over things. It could be a bad thing. It could mean that we're too impatient to read. But I struggle to read for paying attention. Great performers. We talked about that. Strategic thinkers. Non-judgmental. Again, we don't judge anyone. We're very have a very great capacity for inclusiveness and harmony. We're peacemakers, don't rock the boaters. Early adopters, we embrace change. Who Moved the Cheese is a great book. Anyway, strong memory when it comes to things that interest us, but not so much for other things. We can be very bold, pushing the boundaries and the norms. Sometimes we're not afraid of expressing our feelings. A sense of wonder, like a childlike sense of wonder and awe when we're interested in something. A lot of people with ADHD can be very energetic. We can break down complex tasks and handle them. We kind of just see the pieces fitting together in the big picture. Some people are voracious readers. I'm not. My daughter has ADHD, and she will read several books in a week. I don't know how she does it. We're very original. A lot of original ideas were created from people with neurodivergent things or tendencies are on the spectrum. Very generous. We'll give our shirt off our back to anyone, which can be good or bad. Visionary in our thinking. Always wanting to try and improve things and do better. Excuse me, just while I take a sip. We're very quick at learning, picking things up and setting sense. Tireless workers, that can go with a hyper focus. Explorers, a lot of explorers, that goes with the adventure, the thrill seeking. That's gotta get excitement. It's too boring. Go bold, go adventure. Probably Star Trek and Captain Kirk, but I might have had ADHD. We can understand people's struggles. We can improvise. We love nature and the earth. We can be quick-witted. Novelties, motivators, the promise of something new and different. It can be a really powerful motivator. Desire for fairness, we talked about that earlier, non-judgmental. We want to achieve, despite or perhaps due to ADHD challenges, we've got a really strong desire to achieve goals. Some people enjoy physical activity, that, hyperdrive driven by a motor. That's not me. Determined to prove others wrong. That goes with that. If someone says, no, you can't do that, I've tried, you can't do it anymore, it doesn't work, you can't do that with this, we want to prove them wrong and find a way to do it. Tolerance for ambiguity. We can handle ambiguous situations better than most people. We're comfortable with uncertainty oftentimes. We can excel in non-traditional settings. The traditional school or office environment might be a struggle, but we'll do very well in less traditional environments. Very reflective. We spend a lot of time reflecting on our actions, what we've done, our thoughts, and how we can improve upon them. A lot of detectives, ADHD people will make a great detective, just for the details that we can see and the big picture. Make a really good detectives, or in professional settings. Very zealous, pursue our interests and advocate for causes that we believe in. Excellent in crisis management. Our ability to stay calm, think clearly. They can make some, excellent skills in time of crisis management. Willingness to try new things, the fear of the unknown, that goes about the adventure side of things. Gritty, the continuous need to overcome challenges, can develop a high level of grit in people with ADHD. And empowering other people. We really like to empower other people. We understand what it's like to be misunderstood, you see, and we'll often seek to empower others, which makes us sometimes exciting to be around. I don't know, but yeah, we really like to empower others. Sometimes I wish that we could carry that over to ourselves. Really good at empowering other people, but not myself. Great brainstormers. We talked about that with the innovation and that good stuff. And finally, authenticity. Many of us with ADHD have felt this thing of being judged our whole life by other people. And so authenticity in ourselves is very important, or certainly myself, to be authentic. And we appreciate other people who are authentic. So yeah, so that was that. Remember, this isn't medical advice. Anything that I've said earlier, everyone's affected different by ADHD. But yeah, so that was day 4. I hope you liked it. I'm going to try and keep doing this. I don't know if I'll do them this long. I'll probably do them a bit shorter. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Be kind to your mind, and we'll see you next time.